Viewers, internet, stuff I think Yes, today is Mysteries of the World. And again, episode 6. And today we are doing a guy, which has been going around the internet for the past almost, uh, 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 for almost 50 years. It's this man right here, D.B. Cooper. Yes. So if you don't know um, what happened with D.B. Cooper, D.B. Cooper is one of the has made the most famous aerial heist in history since 1971, but that's probably the most best aerial heist in history. Let me explain. So back in 1971, a man that we all know by the name of D.B. Cooper, or his original name was Dan Cooper, but D.B. Cooper, yeah. He's an unidentified man who uses many of aliases, who hijacked a Boeing 727 passenger aircraft in the northwestern United States. It was heading towards Seattle, Washington. He hijacked in Portland, Oregon. The reason why how he did this was, he told one of the flight attendants on the plane that he had a bomb in his suitcase, and if he didn't get $200,000 ransom and apparently 4 parachutes, then the plane would pretty much blow up. This is basically the human Terminator we're talking about. I mean, he's doing a whole bunch of this stuff. And what happened was he jumped out of the plane with the sunglasses shot, and he literally just went, hasta la vista, baby. Jumped out of the plane. Literally skydiving out of the plane. And he was never found. Basically what happened was, after the plane took off again, between Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, actually no, it was in a south direction, so it would be past Oregon, well actually, somewhere between Washington and somewhere in New Mexico. He literally jumped off the plane, and his remains have never been discovered. I mean, plenty of remains where people have speculated, but have not been identified correctly. Well, no, wrong term. Didn't match. Didn't match the DNA on it. They might have used a note for DNA, and yeah. Speculated to be a 5'11" white male, around late 30s, early 40s, wearing a suit and tie. And while he has been speculated that they claim to find his identity as a 7-year-old Vietnam War veteran, I don't know about this. Oh, this is a juicy one. FBI records. These are all physical evidences of D.B. Cooper. All 35 parts. There were 35 parts to this case. And the files that I'm right now looking at, they're from 1971 to 1992. The case was dismissed in 2016, so about 3 years ago. But the case is still open for solutions to possibly be solved someday in the near future. Right now, we're going to look at every single one of these. Subject, D.B. Cooper. File. Pages included that are blurred, light, or otherwise difficult to read, and what color of the original. Provided these are the best copies available. Notable. Alright, so this is the guy. They speculate. That guy right there. Okay, hold up. I can't say this. What the crap? Attorney General John N. Mitchell announced today that a ransom list of the known serial bills were given to the hijacker of the Northwest Line Flight 305 on November 24, 1971. Compared to a whole bunch of mugshots, a bunch of telegraphs, telegraphs from over the world, newspapers, newspaper articles, speculations, actual documents, dollar bills of where they flew out of his bag, notes, bunch of newspaper and mugshots. So, it's pretty much just a lot of newspaper articles, mugshots, notes, telegrams, telegraphs or something. But just a whole lot of, like, holy guacamole. All this stuff is insane. I mean, there's dollars from when he fell out, there's notes, there's newspapers, there's documentaries, there's FBI written documents, there's everything. That's big. I never thought they'd actually have that. But what I speculate must have happened was he flew somewhere from Seattle all the way. So I think what must have happened was that he fell out of, is that he literally skydived out of the plane, of course, with dollar bills that flew loose from his bag. The parachute did deploy, but then the second one did not. And then whenever he jumped off, he must have fell somewhere where he might have gone stuck. I think he might have landed somewhere in the forest. Mainly a lot of forests around Oregon and Washington. It must have gone around there. Could have been anywhere from Washington State down to New Mexico, is what I can speculate. From all the tests and all the stuff that I've cracked down. Of course, there are a lot of other cases. Okay. Apparently there's a lot of people. Apparently there's these kids that are younger than me. Apparently these guys have been following the case for a while. Huh. Weird. But though, there's even a Washington Times and Rolling Stones article saying the man is an Army paratrooper living near him. What I think must have happened was he must have skydived out of the plane and landed somewhere where he got stuck. Maybe around the Mount St. Helens area, maybe around another area. But I'm speculating maybe around Mount St. Helens. Maybe due because the money flew out around Washington or around somewhere along those lines. And, well, what I also think might have happened was, if he is still in the loose, he is still somewhere in the United States, but probably in a different state from where they're speculating that he was located at. So for right now, I'm gonna have to give this a bit of a weird twist, but I'm gonna have to give this case. Oh, there's no interruptions. the green and orange. Because, well, I think because a lot of this information definitely true. I think that maybe a lot of that information leads to him, but then, yeah, we'll still not figure it out. We're gonna have to give that the green and orange. A mix. I think we might have done before, but I can't remember. Anyways, that's it for the Mysteries of the World. I've got another video which I'm gonna get up soon. Remember, get break like an earthquake. I'll see you tomorrow.